Hello everyone. So today I'd like to talk about quite a controversial subject, something that really angers me actually, and that is Pakistan's infamous blasphemy laws. Now, anyone that sort of follows news events may realise that in recent weeks, a young Christian girl from Islamabad, an Islamabad suburb, has been arrested for supposedly burning copies of the Quran. Now, recent developments have shown that it was in fact a cleric, an Islamic cleric, who framed the girl, who in fact burned those copies himself, supposedly, and he's now in custody for violating the blasphemy laws. But the girl, who by the way has a mental age, they think, of about 11, she's 14, but she has a mental age of about 11. Some reports suggest she has Down syndrome. She's still in custody whilst awaiting her bail hearing, or I don't know the exact legal terminology. But I want to talk about the wider issues, because this is by no means an isolated case. Shocking, I think. It's absolutely unjustified. I think Pakistan, this may be stating the obvious, but I think Pakistan is heading down a very dark, theocratic path. And you would think in a country of 170 million people, which has several ongoing violent conflicts, which has constant problems of natural disasters, which has severe poverty in many places, you would think a country with all those issues would have bigger priorities in persecuting people for so-called blasphemy laws, which in my opinion have no place in the 21st century. These are a fundamental attack on human rights, and of course Islamists will argue otherwise. They'll say that it offends the holy book, it offends the prophet and so on, but I think basically this flies in the face of the claim that Islam is a religion of tolerance. And I would imagine that for moderate Muslims out there, who many Pakistani Muslims for that matter are against these laws, it must be quite hard to claim that Islam's a religion of tolerance whilst these laws are in place. They're utterly absurd. And another danger, of course, is that they're being misused. They're being used by people who have a vendetta against a neighbour and basically thrown around. They're very hard to police. They're very hard to prove. I mean, I was suspicious from the start. It would be utterly irrational for a young Christian girl, any Christian, especially a young girl, to do something so foolish as to burn Qurans in a predominantly Islamic country. That would just be crazy. So I was suspicious from the start whether she was guilty or not. And if she was guilty, I would still say the laws are too excessive. If anyone was guilty of burning a Quran, that would be disrespectful. But we have a serious issue here, and that is one of freedom of expression. Now, it's no mystery that theocracy flies in the face of human rights, and I care a hell of a lot more about human rights than I do for religious sensitivities. Yeah, so what's your thoughts on this? I'm very angry. I think there's absolutely no justification. We have blasphemy laws in this country. Thank goodness they've been abolished long ago. But yeah, I'm absolutely outraged, and I think Pakistan needs to get a grip. The leadership of Pakistan needs to consider what their priorities are. They're receiving billions from Britain, from the US, and perhaps we need to put pressure on them to basically say, look, this is a violation of human rights, and if we're going to give you billions, then we expect you to abide by certain, let's say, certain international regulation, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And right now Pakistan is not doing that. I think this is, and anyone who thinks this is protecting Islam, it's doing the exact opposite. That's how I feel. Okay, well, that's my thoughts on this matter. I think pressure should be put on the leadership of Pakistan to repeal these appalling laws, which are being misused. And another point worth considering, across the Middle East, Pakistan isn't the Middle East, it's South Asia. But across the Middle East, we constantly see cartoons mocking Jewish people. We constantly see ridicule of Jesus Christ, who's central to Christianity. I think this claim that Islam is a religion of peace and tolerance, these sort of things, like the blasphemy laws, really, really bring that under scrutiny, that claim under scrutiny. It's absurd. Okay, that's all I have to say. I'm angry about this, and I sincerely hope the young girl gets released soon. I mean, you know, in Pakistan even, those moderates who have spoken out against it, such as Governor Saman Taseer, very brave man, who spoke out against the blasphemy laws, he paid with his life. So Pakistan's on a dark path. Okay, let me know your thoughts. Thanks.